You know that feeling when something you count on just ends? It can feel absolutely devastating, right? Well, we're about to dive into a powerful story that might just change how you see those endings forever. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, it's life pushing you towards something way, way better.
I mean, it's a huge question, isn't it? One that can totally define how we get through the tough times. And the answer, believe it or not, might be hiding in the story of a tiny little sparrow who lost everything she thought was forever.
So, our story kicks off in a place the sparrow was absolutely sure was her safe haven, a home she truly believed was permanent and completely unshakable.
So, picture this, a really old temple. You know, the kind that's super quiet and peaceful. And right in the middle of it, there's this huge bronze bell. It's covered in dust, hasn't been used in forever. It basically feels like it's part of the landscape.
For a little sparrow, this bell was the ultimate comfort zone. I mean, think about it. It was cool when it was hot, it kept her dry from the rain, it was the perfect spot where she felt totally safe and had zero stress.
She built her nest in there, piece by piece, lining it with soft little feathers. And she was completely convinced that her world was totally secure and that nothing was ever going to change.
But you know how life is, it has a funny way of shaking things up, usually when we least expect it. And for our little sparrow, everything was about to get turned upside down.
So then one morning, that long, peaceful silence is broken by the sound of footsteps. A group of monks gathers in the courtyard. They've decided that after all these years, it's finally time to ring that great bell again. Of course, the sparrow has absolutely no idea what's coming. And then it happened. Just one single, earth-shattering sound that completely tore through the air. A monk hit the bell. In one single second, her entire world was just gone. The bell shook like crazy. Her nest, which she'd built so carefully, just trembled and fell apart. Twigs and feathers went everywhere. Her safe place, her home, totally destroyed in one single blow.
She flew out of there, totally terrified, and her little heart was screaming a question I think we've all asked before. Why me? What did I do to deserve this? She felt completely lost, just defeated.
And so that was it. She began this journey into the total unknown, just wandering around with no idea where she was going, and honestly, not a lot of hope.
And man, this journey was rough. She flew away from the only home she'd ever known and just drifted day after day. Nothing felt safe, nothing felt right. She was getting so tired, so hungry. She was really, really close to just giving up.
But even when she was at her absolute lowest, something deep inside her, this little spark, just kept whispering, keep going, don't stop now. And so she pushed on.
And thank goodness she did, because that one little decision to keep going led her to something she could have never, ever dreamed of. This is where the story really turns around.
One afternoon, she hears this faint sound of trickling water, and she decides to follow it. And what she finds is this hidden little glade in the middle of the forest. The air was sweet, there were berry bushes everywhere, a little stream was sparkling in the sun. It was seriously a paradise.
And I mean, what a difference, right? Her old home in the bell, sure, it was safe, but it was also kind of hollow and dusty and really pretty limiting. This new place, it was alive. It was full of food. It felt so liberating. Her old home was good, for sure, but this was so much better. As she started building a new nest, one that was even bigger and stronger than her first, it all clicked. She finally got it. That awful, terrible event that destroyed her home was actually the very thing that had set her free.
So what's the big takeaway here? What's the lesson for us? Well, it's all about how this simple little story applies directly to our own lives.
Seriously, take a second and think about it. What's the bell in your life right now? Is it a job, a relationship, a situation that feels safe, yeah, but maybe, just maybe, you're also a little bit stuck? Look, we all do it. We build these little nests, these comfort zones, and when life comes along and shakes them up, it hurts. It feels scary, and the future looks totally uncertain. But what the sparrow's story shows us is that the end of one chapter is so often just the secret start of a much better one.
So when your own bell rings, and it will, just remember the sparrow. First, you've got to just acknowledge that things got shaken up. It happened. Then, dig deep and keep your spirit strong, even when you don't know what's next. Keep moving, keep looking for that next thing, and be ready to embrace whatever it is.
Because that big shakeup, that moment that feels so painful, it might just be the thing that pushes you out of a dusty old bell and straight into a paradise you never even knew was out there. Your next home, your next chapter, it could honestly be the best one of your entire life.